Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank y'all so much for watching another video. All right, you saw the thumbnail and you see the title of the video, so I'll go ahead and get straight into it. But before I do, go ahead and like this video and subscribe so that you are notified of whenever I'm posting another video. And right now I'm getting into the weeds. You've already built your buyer's list. You've already established your company. You've already read the ebook. You have already reached out to these sellers, and now you have an appointment that's coming up. And what the heck do you do, right? So I want to make sure that you guys are prepared for this appointment and you're doing the work that's necessary before you get there, so that you're not fumbling around and potentially miss out on a deal because you're not ready. Okay, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. So with this, we're talking about preparing for an appointment. Okay, you already spoke to the person on the phone. You already explained to them what your intentions are. You're an investor. You're looking to get at a certain price point. You know how the roof is, foundation, what repairs are needed. You know how soon they want to sell. You know why they want to sell. You know a lot about what's going on right now. Okay, and you got all that information over the phone. You figured out if there's any other decision makers. You figured all that stuff out. Okay, now you're preparing for this appointment. All right, so first, though, whenever you're on the phone, a good reference tool would be Zillow. You'll go on Zillow, see what they're marked at. Zillow is not 100% accurate. It's just a quick tool that you'll use to gauge what you'd be able to offer. Okay, now once you are getting ready for an appointment, you would then find those comps. Okay, I use Propelio to find comps. You can use PropStream. I just prefer to use Propelio because to me it's just easier to use for comps. All right, so what you'll be doing is you'll go up to half a mile in distance. You'll go between 3 to 9 months from that point as far as properties that sold. Don't go into a year because that's too far back. I typically don't start off at 9 months. I'll start off at 3 months and then I'll gradually go up to 9 months. Okay. And also do not look for, don't use properties that are over major intersections or major streets. Make sure that you're staying with it, even if you know a property is still within that quarter mile or half a mile, but it's like on a whole nother section or whatever it is. You want to make sure that you're doing similar properties. And even sometimes there's times to where you're still within one community, but there's one section that's a lot higher end than the other, and so that can screw up your number. So you want to make sure that you're factoring in that it's similar homes. And something else that's interesting, bodies of water is one, ditches is another. I remember I was running comps on a property some years back, and I was confused as to why on one side houses were selling up to $800,000, but then right across this ditch area, it was like $1.5–2 million house. I'm like, what in the world's going on? So after a bunch of research, I realized that just right across that little ditch, there's a different school zone. And the difference between the school zones is one of the worst to the best in that area. So whenever you see large pieces of land, water, major intersections, streets, make sure that you're accounting for that, because it may just be a totally different bracket of property. So make sure you're aware of that. All right. And whenever you are looking to run comps, I know sometimes you'll hear the advice of, oh, just use an agent and they'll help you out with comps. I used to do that. Okay. I did that before, and by the 6th time I called this agent, they stopped answering my calls, right? Because you gotta see it from their perspective too. It's like, okay, hey, I'm a wholesaler. I want to add you to my team. You know, blah blah. We're gonna get properties together. Okay, day one, you ask them, hey, can you run comps real quick on these 2 properties? Okay, these are the numbers. Okay, cool. Yeah, but okay, yeah, it's not gonna work. All right, cool. Thank you. Day 2, hey, can you run these 3 properties real quick? Day 7, hey, can you run these properties real quick? After a while, it's like, hey, look, man, like, do you know what you're doing? Like, what do you want me, like, you just want me to run comps for you all day? Like, what's the deal, right? And especially at this point, you're doing it for free. So it's a problem for them, and it's not worth their time to just run comps for you all day because they're busy trying to do other parts of the business. So it's best for you to it's best for you to be able to find it yourself. I'm able to do it on Propelio. So Propelio is a great website, and it's super easy to use. All right. So you want to make sure as you're looking for these properties that you're comparing it to, please make sure that you're doing it with similar homes. And so some other aspects I'm talking about when I say similar homes. One, look at the style of the house. Is it even the same style? Like is one house, on bricks, whereas the other one made out of brick? You know what I mean? Similar bedrooms. So are you comparing a 2-bedroom house to a 5-bedroom house? Like, you want to make sure that you're factoring that in. So yeah, you can compare a 3 and 4 bedroom house, but know that overall per square foot, a 3-bedroom will be less in most cases than a 4, because that 4 is more valuable. But then you got to also factor in, is that 3-bedroom larger than that 4-bedroom? So there's little things like that you'll be able to compare. Use some good judgment, and just making sure that it's a similar property. Okay. And also look through the photos. All right, if the house is renovated, then that's a good comp for what it's going to be once it is renovated. If the house is gutted to the studs, it's not a good comp. Don't use that for a gauge of what you're going to sell it for. You may be able to use that property for what you can offer, right? If it's like a flooded area and there's a house that's sold as is and it's gutted down to the studs, you may be able to say, okay, well, these are some of the houses that sold in the area and this is what it's sold for. So you may be able to use that. But again, in this particular situation, you want to make sure that you're getting the ARV for what the house would be once it's fixed up. All right, same thing as bathrooms and square footage. I wouldn't go beyond 500 square feet as far as the difference. Now, of course, some folks may be, jiggling right now at the fact that I said 500, but I mean, if you're comparing a 1,500 square foot house to a 2,000 square foot house, you don't always go that far out, but if need be, then do that and just make the adjustments as well. So the beautiful thing about Propelio is that as you're selecting these houses, it would give you that average of what the cost of this house would be per square footage. Instead of you trying to figure it out yourself, it figures it out for you. All right. And also see if there's any differences in the property. So if there are pools, if there's sheds, if it's a 2-story house, if there's a deck, like things of that nature, that would increase the value of the house per square foot. So you don't want your house to have none of those things, and you're comparing it to a house that has a pool, a deck, all these additional things on the property, because that's not an accurate comp. So make sure that you're looking for that as well. And also something that's similar in age, I would say somewhere built within 5 to 7 years or so. You don't want to go too far out, because you don't want a house that was built in 1980. You don't want to compare that to a house that was built in 2000. It's not similar in age, and just everything would be a little bit different. All right, so you want to make sure you're doing something that's similar in age. Also, you want to check rents. Okay, the reason why you want to check the rental value is because I actually created a video that speaks about the 2 different formulas that you'll be able to use, one for a flip and one for a rental property. So if you haven't, go ahead and look through my videos and you'll see, I believe it's called Running the Numbers or something like that. But you want to make sure that you're also looking at the rent, so that you can prepare the 2 offers and see which ones make the most sense. All right, check that over the last year. Same thing as far as comps, making sure it's a similar property. And I personally go up to a year back. All right. Unlike the prices of homes that are being sold, rents, from what I've seen, don't increase crazy like that. But it could. But I go as far as a year to get those comps if need be. If I can find several within 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, great. But if I can't find it, because remember, a lot of leases are about a year, so there may be a situation where, yes, it could be a lot higher now, but, you know, and they're just probably mid lease or whatever it is, but you just want to make sure that you're accounting up to a year, because rents typically are a lot longer. All right. And you want to, next, you want to establish the estimated repair costs. All right. So based on what they're saying, what does the repair cost seem? So I like to use $20,000 to $30,000. All right. As a estimated repair. And if it's less, then great, I can offer more, or if it's more, then whatever it is. But I'd like to have a base of what the number would be, and just assume that they're at about, I say, $25,000 worth of repairs are needed, and I would go in with that number, work those formulas, and see what my offers will be from there. All right, and then last, run those numbers, and again, go ahead and check the video. It's in my list of videos that it should be called Run the Numbers. So you'll run the numbers and check to see what you would offer them if it was a flip property or rental property, and just gauging to see what number makes the most sense. You can start off on the low end, work your way towards the higher end, but they have to give you reasons, and the reasons for why you should go to a higher price point, or at least justify it based off of what's going on. So I may have another video later on speaking about what you do at the, you know what, I will have another video later on that speaks about how you would handle a appointment itself. Okay, so this is preparation for an appointment, but later on I'll have the actual appointment. So just quickly run through that. Preparing for an appointment, you'll get the comps, all right, and as far as the sales, you'll get the rental comps, and you estimate the repair costs, assuming that it's about $25,000, and using that to then run the numbers to be able to present them with an offer. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put that in the comment section below. And if you guys have additional questions, or just want to understand wholesaling as a whole, go ahead and click, go ahead in that description section, and you'll see that I have a link to my ebook, Wholesaling 101, Your First Steps. It goes into a lot of these items in great detail. And from there, once you have that solid foundation, if you still have questions, then you can post questions in the private Facebook group, which is called the First Step Warriors, and that's where I answer the different questions that you all may have. But again, thank y'all so much for watching this video. I know this one is a bit longer than usual, but I want to make sure that you guys are really getting the details, because the details is where people mess up. You don't want to just call somebody and show up and have no idea what you're doing. All right, prepare for this appointment before you get there, so that way when you get there, you are the expert. You have confidence because you're ready. You prepared for this moment, which is an appointment, right? You prepared for it. You know your numbers, and now it's just a matter of giving them that offer and getting on the contract, okay? Build that rapport as you're out there, but it all starts from that preparation, man. So again, thank y'all so much for watching another video. Go ahead and like this video if it has provided you with any value, and go ahead and click the subscribe button so that you are notified of whenever I am posting another video. With that being said, thank y'all so much for watching another one. I'll see y'all next time.